Welcome back to CoinAgeEra, the place where history is not forgotten, it breathes. The story of the 1979 Liberty $1, or the Susan B. Anthony dollar, does not start in 1979 at all. It begins in a turbulent, changing America decades, even a century earlier, when the roots of this coin were quietly being planted through protests, laws, revolutions, and voices demanding to be heard. To understand the full soul of this coin, you must walk through the late 1800s America, a place where women were denied the right to vote, denied equal pay, denied legal identity, and denied the dignity of having their voice recognized. It was in this world that Susan B. Anthony rose, fierce and unstoppable, a woman who refused to bend before injustice. She marched through muddy streets, rode long trains, challenged government buildings, organized conventions, fought against discriminatory laws, delivered unscripted speeches in crowded halls and empty barns, and endured harassment, arrests, and public humiliation, all because she believed in a dream of equality, of fairness, of respect. Her voice was thunder, but it was a lonely thunder at first. Still, thunder echoes, and her echo grew into a storm. Her actions sparked movements. Her movements sparked generations. Her generations sparked legal revolutions. When she passed away in 1906, she never lived to see her dream fulfilled, but her name became a pillar in the foundation of women's rights. Fast forward to the 1970s, America was at a cultural crossroads. The civil rights movement had shaken the nation awake. The feminist movement was rewriting the identity of the American woman. Congress was revisiting old ideas with modern eyes. The U.S. Treasury, fighting the rising cost of printing fragile $1 bills, proposed introducing a durable metal coin to replace the dollar note. But if a new dollar coin was to emerge, it needed a face, a symbol, a message, a reflection of what America was becoming. Many politicians suggested liberty, some suggested presidents, some suggested allegorical figures. But in 1978, a bold idea began to dominate the conversation. Why not honor Susan B. Anthony, the woman whose sacrifices had shaped the rights Americans enjoyed daily? For the first time in history, the U.S. Mint would place a real woman, not a mythical goddess, on circulating American currency. And so, the idea of the 1979 Liberty $1 was born, not just as a financial tool, but as a cultural monument, a voice cast into metal, a salute to a century of struggle. The design was made sharp, dignified, and symbolic. Anthony's determined profile, the Apollo 11 lunar insignia on the reverse as a tribute to American progress, and a size meant to reflect efficiency and convenience. Little did lawmakers know that the very size they believed would modernize the economy would become the reason the coin was misunderstood by the entire nation. When the 1979 dollar finally reached the hands of the American public, history recorded one of the most ironic and dramatic failures in U.S. numismatic memory. People expected something bold, something large, something distinctly different, a coin worthy of being the next great American dollar. Instead, what they received was a coin so close in size, color, and appearance to the quarter that confusion erupted nationwide. Within the first week, cashiers complained customers were mixing them with quarters. Subway token booths misinterpreted payments. Vending machines rejected the coin entirely. Laundromats charged people extra by accident. Newspapers ran headlines mocking it as the quarter's twin and the dollar nobody. Wanted, Americans felt tricked. They mistrusted it. Many even accused the government of trying to confuse the public on purpose. The backlash was immediate, fierce, and widespread. Those who once celebrated the idea of honoring Susan B. Anthony now turned their frustration toward the coin, not realizing that the design choices were driven by budget constraints, vending machine compatibility, and manufacturing practicality. The tragedy was not the coin itself. The tragedy was the timing, the communication, the expectation, and the psychology behind how humans accept or reject new currency. Coins are emotional objects. They live in pockets, are exchanged in human interactions, and represent trust. When trust breaks, rejection follows. The public felt inconvenienced. The government felt misunderstood, and the coin, the poor coin, became a victim of miscommunication. But beneath this dramatic failure lies an extraordinary truth. The story of the 1979 Liberty dollar is not a story about a coin that failed. It is a story about a nation that resisted change. Humans cling to what they know, especially when it comes to money. The dollar note had been part of American life for generations. Asking citizens to replace it with a small coin was not just an economic adjustment. It was a cultural shift. The coin did not fail because it was poorly designed. It failed because humans feared the unfamiliar. They didn't want pockets full of heavy metal. They didn't want the inconvenience of accidental overpayment. They didn't want to relearn value visually. And so the 1979 dollar, born from progress, became a symbol of resistance. Banks piled leftover coins in storage. Businesses refused to accept them. Consumers pushed them aside. And yet within this chaos, a deeper meaning began to take shape, a quiet recognition that the story of this coin was larger than its circulation, larger than its rejection, larger than its confusion. It was a reflection of America itself, complicated, emotional, resistant, hopeful, flawed, evolving. Over the years, as the 1979 Liberty dollar slipped out of everyday use, it stepped into a new realm, the realm of collectors, historians, researchers, and those who saw value beneath failure. The coin became an artifact, a relic, a historical fingerprint. Numismatists began studying varieties like the 1979p, wide rim, also known as near date, a version struck slightly differently, making it rarer and more valuable. They examined the strikes of each mint, the subtle differences in fonts, spacing, and rims. Every detail became part of a larger narrative. But collectors didn't just value it for its minting variations. They valued it for its meaning. The coin symbolized the first time America honored a woman with a portrait on circulating currency. It symbolized the growing pains of modernization. It symbolized the complexities of public acceptance. And most importantly, it symbolized the persistence of history, that even the most misunderstood creations eventually find their place. Over time, the conversation around the 1979 dollar shifted from failure to fascination. Classroom discussions revisited it as an example of economic sociology. Historians included it in books analyzing how societies respond to change. Activists celebrated it as a tribute to women's rights. In collections, it shined, sometimes literally, sometimes symbolically, as a reminder that value is not always measured by success, but by story. The coin holds emotions. It holds voices. It holds contradictions. It holds an entire era. And each time someone picks it up today, they are not simply holding metal. They are touching a century of struggle, a decade of cultural transformation, and a moment in time when America attempted something bold. The story of the 1979 dollar teaches us that progress is not linear. It teaches us that society often rejects what is good for it. It teaches us that failure can become legacy. And it teaches us that history is not made by perfection, it is made by attempt, by courage, by risk. Without risk, there is no innovation. Without innovation, there is no evolution. And without evolution, a nation remains frozen in fear. The 1979 Liberty dollar, rejected as it was, still pushed America forward. It forced lawmakers to rethink currency strategy. It paved the path for the Sacagawea dollar in 2000, a coin whose golden color and distinct size were designed specifically to avoid the mistakes of 1979. It shaped the presidential dollar series. It built awareness about the power and challenge of public psychology. And through all of this, it carved its name into American history, not as the perfect coin, but as the necessary coin. Because sometimes a flawed creation teaches more than a flawless one. And so decades later, the 1979 Liberty $1 continues to shine, not in pockets, not in wallets, not in cash registers, but in the pages of history and the shelves of collectors who understand its deeper meaning. It stands tall as a monument to Susan B. Anthony's relentless courage, a reminder of a woman who dared to defy the norms of her time, and whose legacy became immortalized in metal. It represents the struggle between innovation and acceptance. It symbolizes both courage and caution. It is a testament to the idea that progress is a journey filled with setbacks, misunderstandings, and unexpected turns. But those turns do not erase its importance. They amplify it. When you hold this coin today, you hold the soul of an era, the frustrations of the public, the hopes of the government, the symbolism of equality, the lessons of resistance, the fingerprints of collectors, and the echoes of a movement that reshaped the nation. It is strange but beautiful how the coin once mocked by millions is now respected by those who understand history. Time transforms perspective. Rejection becomes admiration. Confusion becomes clarity. And failure becomes legacy. The 1979 Liberty $1 remains proof that history does not always reward the most successful objects. Sometimes it rewards the most meaningful ones. Meaning lasts longer than popularity. Symbolism lasts longer than circulation. Story lasts longer than success. And this coin story is one of the richest America has ever minted. Yet, beyond its metal and mint marks, the Liberty Dollar embodies layers of American life that few modern observers can fully grasp. Imagine the streets of 1979 America. Bustling stores, clattering subway systems, busy bank tellers, and children peering curiously at the strange new coin in their parents' hands. To them, it was not merely currency. It was a conversation starter, a puzzle, a curiosity. Adults puzzled over vending machines and cash registers. Educators used it to teach lessons about history, equality, and societal change. Newspapers ran columns analyzing its size, shape, and design, while editorial cartoons humorously mocked its resemblance to the quarter. But through all the confusion and commentary, the coin quietly reminded Americans of the profound changes that had been set in motion decades earlier by activists like Susan B. Anthony. Its presence in circulation served as a subtle, everyday acknowledgement that history is not abstract but lived, tactile, and personal, a lesson impressed upon the public in the palm of the hand, every time it changed ownership. Collectors, too, played a crucial role in the coin's continuing legacy. Where the general public had once dismissed it, numismatists recognized its value immediately, not merely in monetary terms, but in cultural and historical resonance. From the first wide-rim variations to near-perfect proofs, enthusiasts scoured banks and coin rolls to preserve examples for posterity. Each coin became a miniature archive, capturing not just metal but memory. Collectors shared stories of finding their first $1979 tucked into pocket change, or discovering rare varieties at flea markets and estate sales. In exhibitions and museums, the coin's story was told alongside tales of civil rights, feminist movements, and the economic challenges of the 1970s, transforming it into a symbol of resilience, societal evolution, and enduring legacy. To hold a well-preserved Susan B. Anthony dollar today is to hold a tangible connection to those layered stories, to a time when society grappled with equality, modernization, and the unpredictable path of progress. Moreover, the coin's symbolism extends beyond history into philosophy. It reminds us that value is not always immediate. Recognition often follows understanding. Something dismissed in one era can be revered in another. The Liberty Dollar teaches patience, reflection, and perspective. It encourages us to appreciate the courage it takes to innovate and the humility required to accept that not all innovations will be embraced instantly. Every scratch, every worn edge, every subtle variation is a testament to resilience, not just of the coin, but of the ideals it represents. Susan B. Anthony's visage on the obverse becomes more than a portrait. It is an emblem of justice, of persistence, and of the quiet power of determined advocacy. The coin reminds us that history rewards the meaningful, not merely the popular, and that true legacy is measured in enduring influence rather than immediate success. In today's world, the 1979 Liberty $1 continues to inspire. Modern collectors, historians, educators, and enthusiasts see it as a bridge connecting past to present, reminding us of both the struggles and triumphs that define progress. It is a coin that whispers stories of resilience, social change, economic experimentation, and cultural recognition, all compressed into a single metallic disc. From the first moment it left the Philadelphia and Denver mints to the present day, it has traveled through hands, pockets, classrooms, exhibits, and collections, carrying with it the spirit of a movement and the echoes of a nation learning to value both innovation and the voices of its citizens. Its legacy is not static. It evolves with each person who encounters it, each historian who interprets it, and each collector who treasures it. In that way, the 1979 Liberty $1 is alive, as alive today as it was in 1979, continuing to educate, inspire, and remind us that even objects once derided can achieve timeless reverence. Ultimately, the Susan B. Anthony dollar stands as a monument to courage, progress, and reflection, proof that even a small, misunderstood coin can carry within it the weight of a nation's story, the echoes of decades-long struggles for equality, and the subtle yet enduring power of symbolism. Each coin tells a story, every edge holds a memory, and each preserved specimen is a chapter in the grand narrative of American social and economic evolution. And so, in a world where currency often passes unnoticed, the 1979 Liberty $1 continues to shine not because of its size or material, but because of the story it carries, the values it represents, and the lives it touches across generations. Its legacy is one of courage, patience, and enduring relevance, a story that lives on in the hearts of those who recognize history when they hold it. And this timeless journey, filled with lessons of valor, progress, and remembrance, continues to thrive here on CoinAgeEra, where every coin tells a story, and every story finds a heartbeat.